when they are on the screen, their attention depth goes down. That is, as you know, when you are listening to me, you have to give your attention to absorb. So even when they are studying, they have to give attention to what they are studying. The avadhana. එතකොට teacher ගන්නකොට උනත්, even when the teacher is teaching or they are learning by themselves, they are not concentrating on the subject they are learning. Their brain has become a scatter brain. Because pixels do that and your neurons begin to do this. Our neurons are, technically speaking, neurologically speaking, our neurons are meant to fire unidirectionally. You do one thing at a time and the neurons adjust themselves to do that thing. The pixel screen makes the neuron to do different things, becomes multidirectional. Did you understand that? And greater the concentration of pixels, PPI, pixels per inch. So usually laptops, modern laptops are quite PPI high, but smartphones and tab band, what's the other fellow? iPad. They are far more high in pixels. So when your child is studying, better to give them a laptop with the night mode. Do you understand what the night mode is? That you cut down the blue frequency coming out of the screen. The blue frequency itself affects your melatonin secretion. Melatonin is it's a neurochemical transmitter in your brain that begins to secrete from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. So when melatonin has secreted well and done its work, your brain comes to rest. All the unnecessary brain chemicals that have gathered, necessary brain chemicals, but the residues of it are refurbished, and there is a Dreamweaver program, I call it, that goes through the brain by design, and all your neurons come to rest, and you begin to see dreams. Initially your dreams are little hectic. So the daughter-in-law will find, mother-in-law is saying, I am coming to your home. Good dream or bad dream? ඒ කියන්නේ ලේලිට පේනවා නැන්දම්මා කියනවා ගෙදර එනවා කියලා. Good dream or bad dream? Ladies, good dream or bad dream? Anyway, it's an illustration. Your initial dreams are little, what you have gone through the day, but you wake up with a good dream. So this dream sleep is called REM sleep. No dream sleep is called NREM sleep. So your dream sleep must vary like that, and you wake up in the morning refreshed, remembering. Same for adults as for kids. When they wake up, they must remember what they studied. When kids have been too much on the digital screen, when they wake up in the morning, they can't remember what they have studied. Then they say teacher is stupid, school is stupid, textbooks are stupid. භාෂාව අහලා තියෙනවද ගෙදර? අහලා තියෙනවද නැද්ද? බබාලා ඉන්නවද? ඒකනේ වැඩි. Ideally, a man should be married at about 28. Yeah. Every year after 28 is a lonely life. We have to do a CSR program on this, isn't it? I'm suggesting a physiological thing. And anyway, that's not the topic today. Let's get back to our slide. So as you can see, inattention is that the kid, or you for that matter, will not concentrate on what you are studying without you knowing. And your intensity of attention has also gone down, and your span of attention, how long you can do one thing at a time. So we know a school period by the age of 12 is about 40 minutes, isn't it? Why is that? Because the child should be able to concentrate for 40 minutes. Even in universities, though our lecture is 1 hour, we know we must do the most important thing is 40 minutes and do a recap, because you can concentrate only for 40 minutes. But kids who have been too much on the screen, they can't concentrate for 40 minutes. They will be jittery, school will be complaining because they have been too much on the screen. That is the attention issue. Then they get impulsive, that inner drivenness to do something drastic. Now, we were told, Paninnata pera, මොකක්ද කිව්වේ? පනින්නට පෙර සිතා බලන්න. This generation has got used to සිතන්නට පෙර පැනලා බලන්න. Actually, before when they are crossing a road, they will want to see, can I cross the road before the bus goes? So they can meet with accidents. Even those who are on screen activity too much and play rugger, they have more injuries because they misgauge the danger. Now, normally a rugger player knows that this tackle is possible or not possible. They misgauge that and have more injuries. So, impulsivity is that. Hyperactivity is they can't stay in one place. They look jittery, they'll do jittery. They may drop things and break and so on. So, how do we package this? Never give smartphone or pixel screen under the age of 3, I would say under the age of 5. That's a recommendation of the British Pediatric Academy. Tell your neighbor, never give a child a smartphone. Instruct each other. කියනව කරන්න ඕන. අසල් වාසියට කියන්නේ never give a child a smartphone. Yeah. It's a tactic, isn't it? What you express, that's the impression on you. So many mothers will faint because your nanny is a smartphone neither. ළමයි මහදන්නේ කොහොමද ස්මාර්ට්ෆෝන් එකක් නැතුව? මේ ඩොක්ටර්ට නම් පිස්සු. මෙයා කොහේ ඉඳලා ආවද දන්නේ නැහැ. So the moment you give the smartphone, one thing, it is addictive, and you are depressing, inhibiting his or her little one's finger and toe activity. Smartphone එක දැම්ම ගමන් the screen is stupid, Kolla is becoming, screen is smart, Kolla is becoming stupid. Because our brain tracks work from our very small days, crawling, clay, molding, building blocks. That's why they are given, they are intentionally given. අර කොටුවක් කියලා එකක් දානවනේ. ඒකේ දැකලා තියෙනවද අර carve කරපු round, there are poles like things so that the little fellow crawls there and he hangs on it. He wants to get up, and there are things inside the playpen to play with. That's how children develop their brain. You give them a screen, they will not do any of those things. They get fixated on the screen. So 1/3 of the parents who come to my empathic learning center, which is like a clinic, but I don't charge fees, because for me this was a research project that I began in 2012-2013. My last academic post was as head of Department of Pharmacology in the medical faculty. So what happens with this screen is too much pixel activity changes the brain chemistry. Then it becomes a screen addiction in the brain. And screen addiction promotes other addictions like gambling, food addictions, and Coca-Cola or whatever cola addictions, sugar addictions. So kids get into other addictions, pornography and whatnot. All addictions begin with the screen. That's why we have addicted generation for different things. So never give the smartphone or pixel screen under the age of, this includes the home TV. Most home TVs are 4K or 8K, isn't it? That's a PPI. When the TV screen is on at home, blue frequency is going all over the house. Blue frequency works against sleep, works against melatonin action on the brain, works against memory. So whenever the home TV is on, children studying in the same floor anywhere will not remember well enough what they studied. That's the cost of TV watching. මේ කියන්නේ අහගන්න කැමතිද අහගන්න කැමති නැද්ද? අහගත්තත් හොඳයි නේද? Tell your neighbor, truth is bitter. Medicine is bitter, isn't it? We don't swallow medicine because medicine is sweet. We swallow medicine because we have a problem. So whenever your home TV is on also, blue frequency is moving. So you have to plead with your grown-up child, O-level or A-level, please don't take your digital gadget to your room. Anyone having an A-level student, son or daughter? O-level student, son or daughter? You have. Now when you are thinking of it, because you can't fight with this generation. You have to coach them, you have to be friendly with them, plead with them, darling, don't take, because invariably they'll play with the screen to the night. So kids come to my clinic, naalane maasekata, and marukullane sumanekata, because they have been on the screen till they fall asleep, they get up and start the screen again. Of course, that's extreme addiction, but such things are also happening. So don't give the screen under the age of 5. Can we have a vote on it? අපිකට ඡන්දයක් දාමුද? ශ්‍රී ලාංකිකව ඡන්ද දාන්න කැමති නේ. අපිකට ඡන්දයක් දාමු. මොකද්ද මේ ඡන්ද දාන්නේ? No screen under the age of 5. That you can implement because that child has to listen to you. So the addiction starts because parents find the screen is the easiest way to avoid giving attention to the child. But you are beginning a lifelong habit that's going to ruin your child's brain potential. So I call it Lama Apacharya Bala Paradya. Mokada kawuda screen එක ළමයින්ට දෙන්නේ? දෙමාපියෝ නේද? Parents give the screen. But it's easy for them. Please don't do that. Then no screen during feeding time. Absolutely necessary. The food time is the most interactive brain building time in a family. So always eat at a regular time. Eat homemade food. Always dad, mom and kids sit together at least for dinner, isn't it? And during the weekends. Don't eat in different places. Don't eat junk food. Make that food time a hallowed time, almost a holy time. Some people will pray. Always do what is long-lasting at eating time. Because when you sit down to food, there's a brain thing called oxytocin that works for good connection. There's a thing called gamma-aminobutyric acid that works for empathy. Then there's a thing called serotonin, all in our brain, that works for you are satisfied. And you put the dopamine drive down. So even dad, in the midst of work, you can't take the phone to the table. Shall we vote on that? No taking the phone to the table. And no watching TV during eating time. Eating time is a brain detox time. It's the best time for the family. Okay? No screen during eating time. No cartoons or digital games after 6 p.m. As much as possible, no digital games. Because after 6 p.m., melatonin has to secrete in the brain and do its work. But certainly kids are now on online studies, so if you can finish online studies by 9 p.m., it's better. Studying late on the screen is not a wise thing to do, because you are eating into their sound physiological sleep, which is what promotes memory and recall. Did you understand that? Not only studying, the kids must be able to recall what they studied and reproduce. Otherwise they studied but went for the exam and they can't reproduce what they studied. So that's about no cartoons or digital games after 6 p.m. So we teach the kid why even when he is doing online studies, after about 25 minutes, keep a tweezer. Do you know what a tweezer is? Those things that we use for finger building, muscle activity, or clay, and where your feet are, to keep a lanu padura. Now this is about kids who are long on the screen because of studies. You know what a lanu padura is? A choir like not a choir mattress, but a choir string mattress. It has gatsy kind of thing. So if they would rub their sole, S-O-L-E sole, not the S-O-U-L sole, rub their patula on it, you reduce the digitizing effect on the brain by the screen. Did you understand that? Because many kids are on the screen for a long time. And don't have LED lights where your child is studying, because all LED lights also have blue frequency, which will affect study memory. Now this is a little difficult because most homes may have the LED light on the ceiling, but where they are studying, try to give them a CFLO, that warm glow thing. Okay? Here. So I am saying, teach them not to look at the screen all the time, unless when they are studying they have to look at the screen for graphic, and every time they are studying they must take notes down. If you don't write down, you won't remember. That's the problem with the screen study. So even if a tuition class is going on the screen, they must write down. I'm okay. They must write down. So please insist on that. Again, you can't fight with this generation. How many of you have children who are, let's say, 8 years old? None of these blokes have children. Commercial bank will have to do something, isn't it? Yeah, of course. No children. There are a whole lot of girls in Sri Lanka in great need. Anyway, that's not our topic today, isn't it? Yeah. So we are teaching kids not to look at the screen all the time, even when they are studying. Other thing, of course, they keep the laptop for study, they keep a smartphone, they keep a tab, they do multitasking. You have to somehow plead with them and say, don't use many gadgets at the same time, but they will not remember what they studied. Did you understand the problem? Again, I had to say, this generation will not listen to shouting. You have to coach them, you have to sit with them and talk to them like a friend. Keep attention span for 45 minutes. Do not multitask on social media during this time. True for everybody. Do one thing for 45 minutes. Automatically, when you have done something for 45 minutes, brain says, now refresh. So you work for 45 minutes and there's a little rest time when serotonin works. You'll see a graph on it. And if you daily write 4 pages of handwriting in 2 languages, you don't develop Alzheimer also. So handwriting, only humans can. It's a great gift of God. So keep handwriting something every day, 4 pages A4 in 2 languages is better than 1 language. Did you understand that? That's for continuing brain development, neuronal formation. So your brain doesn't age when you do handwriting for whatever purpose. Digital stimulant effect has 5 components: time, length, exposure to LCD screen, pixels per inch, rate of pixel change in cartoon frame. So some screen activities are vigorous, using more pixels, that's the idea. Intensity and variability of sound and color. So don't agree to them listening to music and studying. Music stimulates the temporal lobe. Studying is with this front part of the brain, which is called the prefrontal cortex. They will tell you that when I listen to music, I can sit in one place longer. Yes, but they won't study. What they study, they will not remember while listening to music. Did you understand that? So these are addictive habits, so you have to plead with them to change the pattern. But from young days, get them to do music themselves. Stringed instruments are the best for brain development. So violin or guitar, whatever, even keyboards is okay. Get them early to do music themselves. That is, they play the piano, they play the violin, they play the guitar. That develops brain tracts well. Music is also mathematical and a language, so it works on left and right side of the brain, all brain tracts equally. After 6 p.m., minimize screen activity. So when I say screen activity, it's not about PowerPoint or Microsoft or Excel sheet. This is about fast screen activity. Don't multitask, do one thing at a time. Prevent sleep deprivation. Preserve screen time for essential studies, what we have to tell students, isn't it? Because already students are a lot on the screen for different tuition classes. So let them preserve much of their screen time for studying. So this is a neuron, let's say a neuron in the prefrontal cortex. So dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline and different other things are involved in, other chemicals are involved in the brain. This is how we live our hour. We focus and do something with dopamine. Salience is focus, ilakke bala වැඩ කිරීම. And after 45 minutes you want to rest and serotonin takes over, check back. Vichakshana, check back. Will you say it me, check back? That is automatically brain does a check back. So we have to train ourselves, our kids, work for 45 minutes and then a check back happens. If the kid is digitally addicted, check back will not happen, because with fast digital activity, dopamine keeps going up. Dopamine 1 is physiological, dopamine 2 is addictive. So electronic cocaine is the technical term. Too much of digital screen behaves like cocaine. So you want to do the same thing. In their brain it goes on, do, scroll. And our fingers have a lot of neuronal representation in the brain. So you also may find by now your fingers are looking for your phone. Yes or no? Because fingers have a lot of neuronal representation. So what you do with your fingertips calls you to do the same thing. It happens to kids, it happens to adults. Only thing that the damaging pixel effect with dopamine addiction is greater with younger people than with older people. So idea of this is you allow the dopamine to work, then serotonin works back and gives you that sense of satiety or satisfaction. I did this well. It may be the study they did. It has a reward motive. But if kid is digitized, dopamine keeps working and there is no self-check or check-back. So they feel whatever they do is good enough, right. They will tell, don't try to tell me, I don't care. Ye bhasawa ahala tiyinawada? Yeah. Any mothers here? There are mothers here or no? Anyway, since some must be hoping to become mothers, keep this as good advice. We have an inbuilt self-check every hour after we have done our work. We check back on what we did. It becomes a study habit, curricular habit and a character habit. We check back and we say it was well done. If it was not well done, we say it was not well done. It becomes a character trait. But if you are too much on dopamine because of digital addiction, you feel whatever you do is right. Boss must accept it. Or the kid will say, it's all right. Don't try to tell me, it's all right. So this is our brain. And this is the one I was talking about, our prefrontal cortex. This is the prefrontal cortex, top-down regulation, think and do, executive, decide, empathic, good for me, good for others, reflective, creative, initiation, navigation, and conclusion, good reward. What I did gives me a good reward. When you get digitized too much on the screen, you slip to the amygdala behavior, bottom-up regulation. You don't like what you are doing, you don't care, who cares, impulsive, repetitive, reflexive, reactive. It's stress, thrill, survival pattern, anti-reward systems. That's how the digitized person feels. This is also how the post-traumatic stress disorder works, PTSD. You are feeling whatever I do doesn't give a reward. So who cares? So you are slipping down a not so good pattern. PTSD is what adults do normally. This is what happens to kids who are, from this executive, empathic, creative pathway of thinking and doing the best, they move to a shabby habit of who cares and repetitively doing the same thing. This is our empathic learning center. So when kids and parents come to see me, we put them on what I call grips and ropes, GARTs, grips and ropes, thrill sports. When they do this, they look like onchila, isn't it? Swings. This is in Borella. So if you have any relative or yourself want to come with your kids and have a consultation, it is free of cost. If they are digitized and toxic, we get the father to come and go through this. We have a coach who will help them to go through this. There is a 3,600 square feet area. These are low ropes, there are mid ropes, and there are high ropes also. Now at this point, you got a document, did you? Yeah. That document will have a thing to fill and give me back. There's a paper like this. Can you please put your name down? We'll take 2 minutes for this. Address is not necessary really. Put your name down and your WhatsApp number. Okay? Anyone who hasn't got a paper to fill? So your WhatsApp number. Then I have asked a response. I have no problem with my children's digital behavior. You have to say yes or no. If you don't have children even, you answer for yourself how you are doing. Age of child concern. My child's TV time, digital time. That is just to get parents to keep a check on how much the child is on the phone. What I have found is when a child gets into a problem, mother is very concerned and father begins to ignore it. Is that right or not? Mother gets very concerned. So when parents come to my consulting table, father comes and sits on the right side, mother on the left side, and the child sits in the middle. Mother starts telling the problem. Then I ask the dad. My first question is usually, what is your child's best subject? Then the dad looks confused and slowly turns his head. Whom is he looking at? The mother, wife. Then I ask a few questions to get him to understand he has to own the problem. Mother makes it daily safe, but if a kid runs into a problem, father has to own it. But in Sri Lankan culture and maybe in Asian culture, when the boy or girl is doing very well, she's my bright star. When they get into a problem, it is your problem and it is palmed off to the mother. But if a child gets digitally involved and get into other kinds of trouble, we have to get the father involved with it and not to think it's a shame to work with a child and own the child's problem, isn't it? And not to ignore that and put it aside. Father has to come in when boundaries are breached. That's a fact of, it's not medical intervention, it is really life intervention. So I do these lectures with doctors, not telling them, please don't prescribe stimulant drugs or any kind of drugs, because some kids become very apathetic, attention deficit defect. Some kids have attention deficit defect and hyperactivity, ADHD, attention defect, hyperactivity disorder. So brain is already chemicalized. So if you give a chemicalized brain some more drugs, it doesn't work. So somehow we have to teach our medical profession to try empathic learning therapies. Empathic motor therapies is the thing that we discovered, and I have presented a research paper on it. So we have a center with activities like a Montessori, meaning scraps, cutting, coloring with crayon, playing chess, a lot of finger-based activity to get their brain tracks to thinking pattern, creative pattern. It is doable. If you give drugs, you postpone the problem. And already it's a chemicalized brain. So we are teaching the medical profession, and I have written a couple of articles in our SLMA newsletter about how to handle these problems without prescribing medical drugs. But it doesn't help. Shall we finish the filling up? Can you also please put down at least one telephone number of a teacher that you know? We find I do these programs in schools a lot. Teacher sees a student at least 40 minutes seated. And a teacher is with a student at least 40 minutes, isn't it? Class teacher may be with a student even more than that. So how many parents do you think will sit with son or daughter for 40 minutes a day? Uncommon, isn't it, in this busy world? So, but I appeal always, take maybe just before dinner or just after dinner, sit with them for 40 minutes, chit-chatting and getting out what went through their day and so on. But we coach teachers to keep an eye on a child who's developing a problem. What kind of a problem? I have jittery. More dangerous than jittery is isolation. When they get very digitized, their brain wants to do a thrill because usual thrills are not enough. That's how the suicide ideation comes. They hatch a plan to get isolated and to go to the highest place in the city, such as our Lotus Tower, and you know what happens then. And we have had cases like that. So I am teaching teachers. So all schools should have a program like this, how to recognize in the classroom a child who may be moving into risk behavior. So suicide ideation is only one kind of risk, the most dangerous obviously. So you can recommend to your child's school to have a program like this. Yeah. So will you please put down a teacher's name, teacher's telephone number. We have a large network of teachers, and I keep doing these seminars, and I will send a clip that can help them to approach the problem with understanding, not to scold the parents, not to scold the child, but to have an empathic approach to, because teachers are so involved with kids. Also, you can put down a doctor's telephone number so that I can send my professional clip to them, that they keep themselves educated rather than be trigger happy with prescription. We have to stop that in this issue, in this area of, if you have finished filling up your form, our people can come and collect it from you. You can just put your hand up when you finish. Now, this is the brain with the 7 tracks we are born with, and even in the mother's womb, these brain tracks are wiring up. I think I already told you, if a mother is too much involved in digital activity with a smartphone, especially violent music, violent films and so on, mother's brain begins to make a substance called prostaglandins. They cross the little fellow's brain in the womb, and he is getting weaponized, or his brain tracks are getting ready to face up to violence. He is agitated. Did you understand? Because the mother's digital life is agitated. So even while in the womb, mother has to watch for the child. Few other instructions when mothers get pregnant: keep speaking to the child as if the child understands, because the child understands. There's a great bonding between mom and child. Keep singing, keep praying, directed at the little fellow in the womb. It has a good brain effect. Similarly, parents fighting will have a terrible brain effect on the child. So first track that is developed, I mean not the first track I have named here is empathic intuitive. how the little fellow is developing in the womb, in the brain, and soon after birth also this continues. Even after that it continues. Empathic intuitive is what I think of myself. That is developing. Secondly, empathic relational is his or child's assessment about relating to others. So the screen will numb both this, isn't it? Screen will just feed trap into them, and they will not know who they are, and they will not want to do anything with anyone else. Screen is enough. That's how it goes. The next track is the linguistic track. If a child is given the screen below the age of 5, his speech gets affected. So 1/3 of the kids that come to me come with speech defects because the child has been so much on the screen. He's not articulating, he's not talking, he's not imagining. The screen is just feeding him. You can't learn languages from the screen. So don't put smart language learning from the screen to the child. The children learn languages while they have activity and with talking with siblings and talking with parents. So naturally you must speak, and when they are doing activities, finger movements, toe movements, feedback for speech. That's how speech is developed. So that's the language tracks. Then we have the logical management tracks. So when the little fellow is scrolling, he has a plan of scrolling. He's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, mom and cookies. Not that he's counting, but he knows when he does that much, mom is there, I can ask her something. So from small days, you have to keep them in a playpen and then put them out for a while. The playpen gives them their boundaries, and inside the playpen you have building blocks, clay things, different things. The later years you put them on puzzles and so on to develop the brain. Yeah. Then there's another track, how much movement the child picks up. When the child is on the screen, he gets kinesthetic too much. That is, he's getting jittery inside and he's not focused. He can't do anything to a plan. He's only running around. Have you seen children like that? When parents come to me with a child, looking at their eyes, I can say, this child is very digitized. Because eyes do a dance. Eyes are not focusing. Have you seen children like that? They are jittery and they can't sit in one place. Yeah. Tragic because it's the parents who put them on the screen. Then next two tracks are acoustic and visual. What the screen does is revs up kinesthetic, acoustic, visual too much. These are performance tracks. They are necessary. But we must have logical planning tracks developed at least more than our performing tracks, isn't it? What will happen if all the 225 fellows develop performing tracks more than the planning tracks? What's the number I gave? 225. It's not sinking in, I think. It sank in with your seniors. You can ask him what was that doctor talking about. So all I'm saying is, don't put a child on the screen too much. But he can't plan, think and do. He'll all the time look for activities without any end. Thank you. Let me take a few other topics. Because boys are so digitized, they have no interest in girls. They are very dopamine, very selfish. Then girls think they have to look after their own needs. So all over in schools, girls getting into girl groups have become a problem, aware or not. Aware or not. So sexual activities between girls have increased greatly because boys are not interested in romance. In our time, the problem was that you couldn't stop a boy going after a girl and doing knuckle, different things and whatnot. But now boys are interested only in their screen. Therefore, girls have thought they have to look after themselves. Then I told you about suicide ideation. That also girls tend more into getting into that because they get dopamine depleted. They begin to feel isolated. Then they make a little clip and they are planning a suicide trip. So you have put your phone number down, isn't it? So I can't do everything in this 45 minutes talk. Little later I'll get into questions that you may like to ask. Some specific subjects like that, sexuality, suicide ideation, age-based, under the age of 5 to 10, I'll send you a clip addressing those things. So it's a continuing learning. I have brought some books. Please buy a book. This is a basic one for right learning and recovering childhood. Its foreword is by the former Dean of the Colombo Medical Faculty and Warden of St. Thomas's College. We think that's the best school in the world, but everybody thinks that, isn't it? This is a little more practical book also, Alphas and Gen Z's, Teens and Twenties. At least those two books you need to take and read as part of the talk. Yeah. Yes. So what do we do for correcting the problems? We ask them to come and get involved in our Empathic Learning Center activities, which has a whole lot of I don't mind sending this PowerPoint to you if you are keen on studying it further. And now let's just look at this. Present day children, customer is king, satisfy us. They want what they want. Attend on us fast and furious, impatient. Meet our need and our demand, supply fast. If not, we will find our solutions elsewhere, impulsive. Utilitarian, that is, they want what they want. End justifies the means. There are no permanent relationships, there are only our interests. So they are not into deep friendships, they attach, detach all the time. So these are some things that happen before even in the mother's womb, how children get affected. Digital screen promotes addiction. Yeah. I've already told you, please don't use the screen during mealtime. Mealtime is a good brain detox time, friendly time, social bonding time and so on. This is what we do with our Empathic Learning Center. We show them a video for 10 minutes and ask them to cut out, draw, make things they saw. Others have to work with them. Show from book what they will craft, match the colors, draw and paint, pulp work, clay molding, sand art, rattan work, timber craft. Not that we do this every day, all the time. Mechanoset, do you know what a mechanoset is? That, that metal pieces like things, then children have to fit it to make a motorcycle or tractor. So they work with their left hand the spanner, right hand the screwdriver. That excellent brain building activity, but dad has to do it with them. Then we, in our organized sessions, we get them to make sandwiches, whatever, make a cake and bake and eat and so on. So it's about a 4-hour workshop. Then we have games, draft, carom, archery, table tennis, throwing the ring, pool table, cricket, swimming, yes. And we have a 5-acre campus, a challenge course, and teams come and work on it. Some corporates have also come for team building there. It's at Pamanugama. It's available for renting for a day's program. We have a challenge course. Do you know what a challenge course is? That grips and like army challenge courses. And then we have a Madavagura, marshland. We call it the Jurassic Park. And we hide dinosaurs on different places, plastic fellows, to find. So we put them into teams, and one team is Trump, other team is Putin, other team is Beijing, other team is Modi. Safe to use foreign names, isn't it? I mean, so anyway, they get together, different activities, a day's program. Some corporates have come and done it as a team building effort because it's a large place, close to Colombo. It's 5 acres, and there's a swimming pool on the other side of the road. So if Commercial Bank is thinking of team building activities, that's a different thing. But we use this also for young fellows to come and do this, rugby teams or the teams that we make and so on. Yeah. Now next 8th, 9th, 10th, we have 240 young fellows coming from different parts of the island. It's a range program including this, so that to get them out of screen, build leadership, and have long-term friendships. I don't know whether you have seen this, that we have school friends we still remember, isn't it? If you go to another country, at any time they'll come and pick us up. But nowadays you don't get that kind of long-term relationships. I don't recommend children to leave school from O-level. I prefer them doing A-level. And if you are choosing a foundation course, it must quickly fit them into a vocational field. Where there are many foundation courses, you pay 300,000, 600,000, takes them nowhere. And then they keep changing, isn't it? I don't think 17 years is an age you can decide on your future. What do you think? When they finish O-level, they are about 16 and a half. Can you decide what your future can be when you are 16 and a half? You need 2 more years. That's why the A-level is there. But if the kid is not good at studies at all, then you have to think of something vocational. Sri Lanka's NVQ system is one of the world's best. It looks humble, but it's one of the world's best. Kids can get jobs anywhere in the world when they go through a NVQ course. German tech has been revamped. So without thinking of very expensive options that take them nowhere, make some things Sri Lanka has done well. Correct? Okay. I think I'll stop there and give you time to ask questions. Yes. Any questions you like to ask? Will you collect the papers from them?